Yeah. Like one of those things. It's like, oh, it's to show to the gang that like, oh, I'm willing, I'm on this, I'm about this.
Exactly. White boy ain't gonna scare me away, even if he ain't got no money. Let's fuck him up, that kind of thing. And it was a race thing where I was. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I was a well-dressed white kid in the fucking ghetto. I didn't belong.
And how dare you go there? Like,
Exactly.
It's your own fault, as far as I'm concerned.
I think so. Well, it was my mom's fault. No, I'm not blaming anybody. It's nobody's fault. It was just,
I'm just fucking around.
That's how it goes. If you do something like, I should have known at 13, I should have just stayed inside. Been like, yeah, I know where I'm at. Anyway.
That's funny. Sorry, that's funny to me.
It is fun. I think it's great. It's hilarious.
It is now. It wouldn't have been when you were a kid.
Well, what's really weird is I told my mom about it when I got home. She was pissed, and I was like, fuck, I shouldn't have told her that. She got mad at my dad. And then, but I kept thinking to myself, like, that's what getting mugged is like? That's not that bad.
Like, yeah, right.
I mean, I guess. Huh. But I forgot about weapons and guns, the things that they didn't have, right? They had their attitudes, and that's it.
What was the age of the robbers?
12, 13, maybe 14.
Oh,
and I was 12.
Well, that's different.
Yeah.
I was 9, and they were in their 30s.
Oui.
And yeah, I was coming from school like 20 o'clock, 30 minutes. It was dark.
He lives in kind of a rough country. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they took me from behind. They just kicked me with the feet, in the back. I fell in the front. I had my backpack. And yeah, they put their knees on my head and searched pockets, and then they left. Yeah,
that's all right. At least they didn't kick the living shit out of you. Like,
yeah.
Well, like I said, they
did hit me. They did hit me.
No, I know, but they didn't beat the living shit out of you and put you in a coma as well.
Either of us, yeah.
They said, they threatened that if I shout or stuff like that, they will do much worse.
Yeah, they probably would have said.
Yeah.
Yeah, you both did the right thing in that scenario, to be honest. Just, just let it happen, get over and done with.
Well, I was a weakling. Like, I had maybe just started skateboarding and hanging out with, like, the cooler kids, right? The tougher kids, but I wasn't tough at all. Like, no way. If somebody would have been like, you need to stand up for yourself, I would have started crying at the thought of it. At 12 years old.
Man. 12 years old, 9.
I was a tough kid at 12.
You're no way tough.
I was quite tough. I was quite tough. I'd been doing judo competitions at that age. I weighed like 40.
Yeah, that's probably.
So
you were tough.
You're nothing against an adult.
I just thought.
Not against well, I had a fight at the age of 14 against an adult that was drunk, and I knocked his teeth out. And if he wasn't drunk, he probably would have killed me.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That was because I asked him for a lighter, and he was on the phone having an argument with his girlfriend. Good times. Good times.
But the worst I hate are the rapists.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
From the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly.
Glass like, really? Oh. You really hate the rapists?
I'm surprised shifted about gears, that man, from 3rd to 6th. But all right.
Time for a couple of teaspoons. Oh, yeah.
Hang on, I'll be right back.
Yeah, the rapists are the worst. The people that will actually rape kids and stuff like that, especially. That's messed up shit. It's like, yeah, we're mugging you, but really we're going to rape you, right?
Yeah, I saw it. 5-year-old got raped. A boy got raped by 25-year-old.
That's not.
And he was gay. He was gay. It's gay rape. Yeah. So.
Always the worst type. well, not
It
always the worst
destroys
type.
you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
like
victim is destroyed for life. It's stealing his
their
soul, the
soul a
victim's
little
soul.
bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think it steals their soul. I don't
yeah,
contend with the idea that you can take someone's soul, but like
yeah.
it destroys the vibrance of one's soul.
That
Definitely.
child is never gonna grow up. Never.
No, never.
Yeah.
100%.
No matter how much
Love you put into them.
psychotherapy and stuff you're doing, you can bring all the psychologists, whatever, all the experts. They won't fix him. They will not be able to undo what happened to him.
100%.
And yeah,
I guess like that's why I speak quite openly about some of the experiences that I've had, because it helps other people. Maybe, I don't know. Hopefully, I hope it does
yeah.
in some way, shape, or form. I hope that it would help someone else. That someone that's been
You
through
know,
something. Huh?
people don't listen until it's happening to them, because today's people, they are not stupid, they are dumb.
Mm.
A stupid learns from his own mistakes. A wise man learns from others, looking at others. But a dumb one will not learn, not even from his own mistakes. And that's how most of people today are.
That's true. It's very, very true. I'm listening to you get me get. I'm just doing something at the same time. So,
Have you heard of Lambada Earth?
no.
I was thinking about it last night at work. Lambada, you know the song, the dance Lambada. And,
Yeah, of course. I know that.
it's the globe spinning around its axis and it's tilted, so it's wobbling. It's Lambada dance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Funny.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, you can have it, with the Polish people, it's lightweight. They are drunk heads.
Yeah, a lot of the time it's easy with the Polish,
Yeah,
bro.
but if it were Romanians, if it were Romanian mobsters, thieves, and stuff like that, those are. I don't want to deal with them,
different
because
kind
they
of
do
fish.
you. Yeah, yeah.
No, I hear that.
They do crazy shit in England. I saw how they rob lorry trucks on the motorway.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I know how they are robbing the clothes at the beginning.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know how?
I stole too.
But not from the shop, man.
Where from? Oh, from yourself.
From people.
From people.
From people. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how?
I hate muggings though, like that.
No, I hate
People-
that.
Depends how you did it.
Mhm.
I saw other people doing. I didn't do. But
Yeah.
they was waiting that people dry. Their clothes outside. And then they took it.
Yeah.
That was awful, but yeah.
That's disgusting. It's low life.
Yeah,
Say
yeah,
that again. Say
yeah.
that again. How are they doing?
You know, for example, I live in some building with eight apartments, and outside we had this place for drying clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you take that dry things and you put there in corner, and everybody in the that space in
They
the, but it's
feel.
open space. Everybody from street can come inside. That's the
Yeah.
problem. And then then you have Romanian.
I've dealt with Romanians. I always got along with them though. Always have gotten along with the Romanians. They got even Romanian gangsters I've gotten along with very well. Very, very, very well. In fact, actually, when I think about it,
Yeah.
I've always got along with them. They like to dance, and so do I. You know, and that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
They like to dance. They're not like they're not always like they don't just sit there standing still in the corner like, oh, I'm a gangster, I gotta stay still.
Yeah.
Some of the Russian
They like
guys,
to show
they stand
off.
still.
Yeah.
They
Go
stand
in
still in the
clubs.
corner.
Mm.
It was very weird when we ended up with lots of Eastern Europeans in my area, bro. Like, because a lot of people were afraid of them, and I didn't show any fear towards them, so they showed me a lot of respect. And that actually was a big portion of the end of my problems with the people where I locally lived, the local gangs. Because the Polish and Romanian, and so, like, it was almost like, right, before it would have been Polish, Romanians, and Russians were all separate, right? But because there were so few of them, they became more selective, that they got on better with, like, some of the Polish guys got on better with some of the Russian guys, and there would be like the toughest group and the toughest group, and drugs wise as well. Some could get weed, some could get whatever, right? So it made sense that they mixed. Like, the Polish were brilliant at getting cheap weed, the Romanians were very good at getting heroin, and then the Russians were really, really good at getting, like, anything else, like anything, basically, like weapons and stuff. So, like, it was like a group of them. And I remember, like, you had Belinko, I probably shouldn't say their name, should I really? Symblowski, Puścinosilo, these were the Polish guys. They had a Russian guy that was called Flicky. I don't know why they call him that, but they did. It was a nickname. And Flicky. But I got on with these guys because I wasn't afraid. I wasn't afraid of them, but like it meant that, like, we had normal conversations, whereas other English people would just like avoid them like the plague, like fear for them. And I was like 15 years old, bro. They were like fully grown men, and I was very strong for a 15-year-old. So one, they invited me to a party, and I beat nearly every single one of them in an arm wrestle.
Yeah.
Right? And they respected it.
Funny,
I thought I was going to get beaten up. I beat this big Chechen guy, been in the Chechen war.
Yeah.
He was Yugoslavian, and he had fought in the Chechen war as a mercenary type. He wasn't in the national army of any kind or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like, you know how those wars go. Everyone from every country takes up their cause, and potentially they might be involved in the war because of their families from this place or whatever. And he had scars all over him, machete wounds, bro, where he'd been caught in a street battle without guns, basically. Like, he had a pistol, it misfired. He got too deep into enemy territory. They all had like machetes, and he had a crappy Karkarov or whatever it is pistol, crappy Russian-made pistol that they used to give to the people in the Soviet bloc. And he tried to shoot it, and it backfired and fucking blew up in his hand, and he got a piece of metal in his arm, and he started bleeding. And then all of a sudden, loads of them ran at him. He was a big guy, so people were afraid of him walking down the street with his pistol. Obviously, like they were all backing away, letting him go where he needed to go. And they ran at him and just started, like, one guy pulls out a machete, and he was wearing a vest. So unfortunately, he got hit across the back, and he said he felt his shoulder drop where one of the ligaments had been hit. And he said, I thought I was dead, and he's got like a big wound across the stomach. Luckily, he was a big guy, and he had a lot of fat on him as well. He's got a big scar across his stomach. And I mean, when I say big, I mean like it's thick, wide, and long. And it's like gristly when you grab it and touch it, you know, like it's fucking ruthless. Sorry, Abayar, for swearing. And
well, I know, for example, in England, I had
but these guys, let me finish. I'll
Romanian
finish what I was saying.
mobster. Yeah,
What
go
I'm saying
ahead.
is it was Russians, Romanians, Bulgarians, and the Polish, right? They had all joined up as friends because they didn't get on necessarily with everyone that was Russian or Polish in their own group, like because they there wasn't as many to choose from. If there was more Polish guys there, more Russian guys there, they would have never been in a group together. But because like it was better than them making friends with English guys, and they were tough guys, bro. And I remember the day I got in a car with them, right? And this is what happened, and this was one of the things that was a catalyst as well. This was part of it, partially some of the work that I'd done. This is the thing that ended my beef with the older lot of the people I had problems with. Because people I had problems with, they were already older than me, my brother's age. But the older lads than them that were like 31, that were like really dangerous and scary. A couple of them, one of them had done like a murder. They'd stabbed people and stuff, been in and out of prison, you know, since they were like kids. One of those lads, I saw him on the street. He had hit me from behind with a full can of beer, and like fractured my cheekbone and nearly knocked me out. It didn't knock me out, thankfully. I've never been knocked out. I don't know how. Lucky, I guess. But it caused me a worst concussion ever. Like that affected me for 2 years. That concussion. Anyway, he hit me from behind, and I saw him. I was in the car, this BMW with an English driver who was half Polish. He'd lived in England his whole life, but he'd learnt the Polish language. He'd gone over to Krakow with my friend Lucas, and they'd gone over there together. And he met Russian and Polish mafia guys alike when he was out in Eastern Europe, right? And he had brought back a load of them with him, and like, you know, they were all a good group of friends, and that friend group fractured, and the best of that group ended up with the Romanians and stuff. And so he was driving, Lucas was in the car too, another guy called Sasha was in the car, and then a couple of Russian guys, and like, I'm a small kid, like in a five car, like five, and I was sat on the lap of the big Russian dude, basically. And I'm a kid, you know, and I'm a big kid, like, and we're driving, and I see the guy who hit me with the can, like, the year before. And I point at him and I go, that's the guy that hit me from behind. And I still had swelling on my face a year later, you know, from this. Like when, you know, disfigurement almost a little bit. Luckily, all my shit repaired back pretty well. And I turn around and I go, that's the guy there who did that thing to me. They pulled a car over next to him. And like, wait, come here. They're like, get in the car. And he's like, there's no space in the car. And he's like, lay on top of those two's lap. So like he lays on their lap, and his face is like facing down. He tries to like lay on them, like sit on them. He's like, no, lay on your front. Like he didn't want him like sat up at all. And then his face is right next to me, and he looks at me and he goes, punch him in the face if you want. And I'm like, no. Because to me, I was like, I'll fight him for fair. I said, take us somewhere off and I'll fight him one-on-one, right? Because now I'm not worried about his boys getting involved, you know, because he was in a gang. And I said, I'll fight him fair. And they said, no. That's the reason why this is a problem. They said, you fight him fair. They said, this is the point. We want him to realize that you're not to be fucked with at all. They said, no, not at all. He said, if anything, one of us is going to fight him for you. And I'm like, well, I'll win. And they're like, we don't care. They said, there is a risk that you won't win. They said, there's a risk that one of us fighting him might lose. They said, one-on-one. They said, but two of us will beat him up in a minute. And then when we're driving, Lucas was a guy who was extremely smart. Lucas turns around and starts speaking to the guy, and the guy's shitting himself because he realizes who I am. His head's next to me, and he's looking up to me going, no, please. And I'm like, oh, and he goes, promise me nothing, like, really bad's going to happen. Promise me. He's like, hold him back, stop him from hurting me. Because I didn't make this happen. I didn't want this to happen. When I pointed him out, I was just pointing out, like, oh, that's the guy who did that thing to me a year ago. Like, you know, and when they pull over, I'm like, oh, no, leave it, allow it. Like, I don't want to cause any more problems anymore. No, like, I shouldn't have said anything. And, anyway, so we're driving. Lucas is an intelligent one. He's the intelligent group. He's the drug dealer, and he's a pimp out of this group. And he turns around and he's going to the guy who's laying down. He's like, oh, you sell drugs, don't you? And he was like, yeah. I haven't got any on me. He's like, I'm not trying to rob you. I'm not trying to rob you. He's like, we don't need to rob people. He said, that's stupid. He said, you're a bigger guy, could have bigger guys than him. He said, we're not trying to cause wars, right, over this little incident
Yeah.
between kids. He said, but you sell drugs, don't you? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, okay. And we pull up, and I see him whisper to the guy who's driving, the English guy who speaks Polish. He's sort of half whispering in Polish to him. And then they all start laughing, the guys understood it. And then they drive somewhere, and he goes, points at a house, he goes, I want you to rob that house. He says this to the guy sat in the car, he goes, I want you to rob that house. And the guy who's on the guy that had hit me, and he's like, oh bro, he's like, you know that that's my drug dealer's house, like the guy I pick up off of. So he's taken him to where he gets his drugs from, and he's like, I want you to rob your drug dealer's house. He's like, do it or you're getting fucked up big time. He gets out of the car. He knew how to get into the premises, obviously, because it's where he goes every day to pick up his drugs, obviously. And he goes there and breaks in, I guess, through the back gate, or just walks in, comes out with like an Xbox and some stuff. As soon as he gets back in the car, the Polish guy's on the phone, rings up the drug dealer that he's just robbed, and he's like, right, I've got your worker in my car. He's just robbed your house. I've just caught him robbing your house. And then you hear the English guy that's in the car with us who hit me going, he made me do it, he made me do it. And then you can hear the drug dealer on the phone, I don't give a fuck if he made you do it. You know? You did it. And he's like, okay, we'll keep him in the car until you come. All of a sudden the van pulls up. And then he gets out with all of his stuff in the bag, takes it, puts it in the van, and then the drug dealer's like, right, get in the fucking car, come on, we're going, like, we've got to deal with this. They take him off. After that, the guy had like these two big black eyes that were like really bad. Like, I mean, like he couldn't see for like, he had black eyes for a year, you know, like for real. Like his own drug dealer fucked him up so bad. So like, and then I realized, I was like, these Bulgarian, Russian gangster types, they're smart. Like, they didn't cause a beef with the drug dealer. They caused a bond with the bigger drug dealer, who could have been the guy that got funny if we beat him up, this English guy, because instead they ended up creating a bond with him because it was like create trust between them. It was like, look, we made one of your own people rob you. We told you about it and we held it for you and gave you your stuff back just to prove to you that he's a weak link, you know? And that made them tighter, and they obviously did business already together, like in some way. And like, I was like, wow, that really dealt with the problem. After that, like, it was kind of like all of the older lot from that group, they didn't want nothing to do with causing problems with me.
Man, I tell you, England is some weird country. I had, for example, a Romanian friend. He was a mobster. And in Romania, he killed about 10 people. And he's being given to the Interpol, you know. And this guy was living in England, in London, but under fake ID. And his nickname is the Pig, you know. Yeah, but he's a very tough big man. He did rugby and boxing, you know, and he's doing all sort of this proxenetism, human trafficking, weapons, drugs. You know, he's into everything.
Mm-hmm.
And late in 2005, something like that, he was. Making a team of hackers, you know, he heard about these things, and yeah, he took a lot of these young Romanian guys who know how to do these things and bring them to England and install these copycats on ATM machines and stuff like that, you know. And I knew his network, everything, and how I got friendly with him was
so wait, they were doing the ATM
his
card
wife.
catching?
yeah, his wife was living in Palma de Mallorca, and with his
Makes sense.
fake ID, uh, he said he can't leave England, you know.
Yeah.
And I
Stuck
told
there.
him, look, if I make you a plane ticket, you can fly to Palma de Mallorca, no problems, and come back, you know. Because I was making business class or first class tickets, you know, and those cost a lot of money, you know. But
Yeah.
when you go to the airport and you
When it's
show a
yes,
first
first
class
class ticket, they think
ticket,
you're all
they
that. Yeah,
don't check
exactly.
you. They,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. You go on the red carpet in the lounge.
There's
You
like
take
it's as
whiskey,
least
drink,
there's going to be as
smoke.
least friction as possible
Yeah,
in it. It's like they're not going to stop
yeah,
you. It's like it's about
yeah,
it being an easy experience. It's like first
yeah,
class for a reason, you know. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
They don't dare. They don't dare to do this bullshit they do with us, like economy class people. You know. Yeah.
That human trafficking shit really pisses me off because nobody's tried to traffic me.
Yeah.
What? Nobody wants a 49-year-old male?
Well, when I said that, I mean I'm saying something like, you know, he's taking Romanian girls from Romania, bring them to England, and uh, put them in
Once you
this
get it, you're
network of
fine.
prostitution and stuff like that. Yeah. So,
Mm.
you know.
Well, his girl wouldn't have been like a prostitute anyway. By the sounds of it, she would have been like more like a
Yeah.
madam, you know,
Yeah.
like a
And
pimp, woman
when.
pimp.
Mm. And he was telling me, you know, like how the Interpol is searching for him and all this stuff. But in England, he was living with this fake ID, and he even had social. How do you say social? Not social income, but they give you a house to live on that national insurance number, Nino, and stuff like that. He had all that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
That's a cool story.
yeah.
That's what I was thinking myself about if I went to go somewhere with like you know with the jab with the passports and that. Like I might get first class ticket if I had to get by plane.
Yeah.
Because really, I'm trying to like move away from where I am right now. Yeah, I'm trying to move. I'm trying to go to America. You know that guy's
I
called
know,
Rocky,
I
yeah.
know. You want to go
You
to
know that guy
USA
called,
now.
you know that guy. Do you know that guy called
That
Ricky? Yeah,
asshole
like,
rookie, yeah.
he's a bit of like a fucking weirdo, isn't it? Shit, he just come up as I said that. So.
I can only be what I am.
Yeah, I love you, bro.
Yeah. And oh, by the way, yeah,
I might go down to beginners, Effie, in a second.
this
Listen.
mobster also knows the mafia boss, Romanian mafia boss, Nicu Gheară. This guy is,
Nickel guy.
yeah, this guy owns the island of Ibiza.
Ibiza, yeah.
Yeah,
Ibiza.
he owns it. In
I know
Romania,
he does, yeah. I know who he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a serious guy.
yeah, he's with
He's a
Gucci,
pretty serious
Armani,
guy.
Prada. He's with those guys together. Yeah,
Yeah, people used to speak about him. The Romanians would talk about him sometimes, like because he wasn't necessarily as
his
well
girls,
known
they
10 years ago.
they
But
show his girls on FTV, fashion TV. Yeah, I mean, he's not some low life, you know. Yeah, and they are friends. The funny thing.
I accidentally clicked on the thing I was going to go to already.
Mm.
But yeah, no, yeah, he's involved with lots of things, isn't he? Like he's got his fingers in many pies, as it were.
Yeah.
Noticed.
Well, the thing which he was most involved was credit card hacking, internet scams, frauds. You know,
Yeah, he would have been
in
involved in that
Romania.
card catching stuff as well, though, like
Yeah.
catching the cards and copying the numbers
Yeah.
with a camera. Yeah,
I
bro.
worked for him, and he gave me like the penthouse apartment next to the Romanian Senate in Bucharest. The building next door is his building, you know, and in that building live only all these people who work in the television, like news and TV shows and stuff like that.
He
All
owns.
those famous Romanians, yeah.
Wait there a second. He
And-
owns like literally. I think it's almost like 39% of Ibiza. No, like Ibiza.
Yeah.
39% of it, like, and it's mainly the
Yeah.
coasts of it as well, which is like the coast of the island,
Yeah.
which is mainly the bit that makes you money. Like he owns like something like 40 nightclubs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like this guy has
Yeah,
somehow been a gangster that's put his like he's done
Yeah.
well as a gangster. Like he's done well out of it.
Yeah.
And he did well because all of the gangsters before him had managed to launder their money well, get it into accounts, and he didn't have to do
Yeah.
too much. Once you've got enough money to make money illegally, like you never have to like risk yourself
Yeah.
in a situation where you're gonna look like a criminal, you know. Like
Well, in Bucharest-
I've seen pictures of him, bro, with like presidents and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Of
Oh
countries.
yeah, he has pictures with Pele, with
Yeah, bro.
you name it, you name it, the famous people, and yeah, he knows them.
He knows
Yeah.
what he's doing, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name again? It's
Nicu Gheară,
Gara, that's it. Like Nico
Yeah.
Gara. Yeah, man.
Gheara. Yeah.
Straight up gangster.
And yeah, also you know, all the Romanian footballers. This guy has the agency in Romania for the best agency for photo models, and vast majority of Romanian singers
Go through
he
him too.
owns them, you know.
Yeah, he
and
owns their
he
contracts.
He decides which footballer marries which girl, you know.
Yeah, like, well,
Yeah.
he doesn't decide who marries who. He like, but he does fix them up, doesn't he? Like, puts them together.
Yeah, exactly.
And he thinks like who would work well together and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, but he does it through parties, basically, right? Like
yeah,
he throws big
in his
parties.
clubs, yeah.
Yeah, man. He also travels between Ibiza.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about this gangster that's
mobsters.
a mobster that's very well known on the earth. Yeah, man. Someone that me and Get personally both had some semblance of dealings with, which is just weird.
Yeah.
That's all. Why, you want to get involved in the conversation? Do you know him too? Wait, what?
No. You picked the one conversation I don't want any part of. Cool?
No problem, battle mode, we can switch. Yeah.
Well, no,
European
I'm not finished.
mobsters. Yeah.
Well, no, so like, yeah, like, but yeah, he owns like 39 nightclubs, man. Like,
No, I
and
don't.
and
Yeah,
like,
in Ibiza.
yeah, and I think he owns the main construction company out there now too. So like anything that gets built out there now,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he, you could say he's pretty much not a gangster now.
Is he
He's
a
pretty much a businessman.
politician?
No,
No, he's in
You would
the fashion
Well, all the
industry.
politicians are gangsters. That's
I know.
Yeah, but
But
they're in
he's
the public
like- he's-
sector. The street gangsters are in the private sector.
He's a private sector gangster.
Oh no,
bro.
no, they mingle with the mafia.
He
I
is
got
the
it.
mafia.
Every-
he is the leader of
Well,
the
the mafia is
mafia.
the state too, so there you
I
go.
know it is. It's like the numbers game in, the numbers game that was happening in
I got a video on that, man.
Little Italy and in, places like in New York.
Everything's the rich man's trick.
Well, but think about it, like the American government banned the numbers game that the
Like
mafia
a
were
3-hour
doing.
video, man. It's deep on this subject.
Send it to me. If it's a YouTube clip, then I'll watch it. I can't
Yeah.
download the 3 hour.
When you
I saw that
see,
one
for
too.
example, a
I watched that
Gucci
one
or
too,
a,
Mike.
when you see a fashion
You
show
watch
like
it?
Gucci, Prada, all this stuff, and you see Romanian photo models,
I shared
those
it.
girls
They are his.
his. Yeah,
Oh, them aren't chicks. I've seen them.
yeah.
No, the ones that we're on about, they're his chicks. This guy, this
No, they're
gangster.
dudes. He's got trannies.
Maybe, but
I'm telling you, them ain't chicks.
he ain't paying for transitions. I'll put it that way.
No,
Not all of
that's
them.
why.
Not
He
all of
wants. Listen, the models that he has, he wants models.
That's
Batman,
why
that people
most
can
of
pay to
them
have sex
haven't
with,
made
bro.
it to the chop shop yet.
Bro, he has models, yeah, okay, that people can pay to have sex with.
They don't have sex with trannies. The elite
Not
love that
not
shit.
every man. He's not involved with just the elite. He's the. You're not understanding the type of guy that we're talking about. Like he's.
Oh, I am the mafia. They're
Yeah.
politicians, the elite. They're all the same shit. The
I
world
know
is
that.
run by one form of mafia or another.
I understand that. But I'm saying his
That's why I
girls.
brought up
I've
this
met
shit.
some of them. They're not trannies. That's all I know.
They all love trannies. All the rap artists, they're all married to trannies.
Yeah, that's true.
All the
That's
biggest
true.
rock stars, all the
They
biggest
could
country
have got their
stars, they're all
penis cut
trannies.
off, you know, and
And they don't want the penis cut off, bro. That's the thing they like. Is the secret between the legs.
listen,
Yeah.
some of them you
They
can't
get off
tell.
on it.
There are those ones you can't look at and tell.
I know. Start them young on hormone blockers.
I would
you
say
can't.
those are the ones you tell.
But like they like the fact that there's a secret between their legs because it's like another thing they can get over on someone. You know, it's like an occultic thing.
And it's not all of them trannies, you know. It's enough to be like 20 or 30% of those girls to be trannies. And then when you look at those TV shows or fashion shows and stuff, you admire them all, you know. When you see a woman, yeah, you're okay to admire her, but next one is this guy's
Most
man.
supermodels.
And
Most
then
supermodels
you are
are
in
trannies,
the
yeah.
wrong, you are gay, you know.
Hold on. Did he just say no supermodels are men?
I said most supermodels are men.
Oh, I thought you said
Gives
no.
whole new meaning.
Oh man, you need to wake up, naive man.
No, most supermodels are men.
Gives a whole new meaning to rebuilding the tranny.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I didn't know shit about that. A tranny went in a hot rod. You know what I'm saying?
You've rebuilt plenty of trannies, right, Batman? Just not those types.
Right. And if it wasn't a tranny, it was a gearbox.
I've never heard of transgender people referred to as gearboxes. So I don't know what you're talking about now.
Get your motor running.
Get on my way.
Oh,
Adventure.
Or whatever comes my way.
Hoping them trannies don't come my way. Fire all my guns if it happens. Watch them trannies explode into space.
I'm going to go down to FE Beginners. I want to listen to what's going on down there. I'm not in the mood for singing and shouting today. I've got a headache.
Listen.
Oh, come on.
Headache,
now
man.
you got a headache.
Listen. Yeah. Put that pipe down and go to sleep at night. You'll be all right. But watch that video, man.
Shut up. Don't make those sort of jokes. I don't even smoke cannabis.
Uh-huh.
I don't. You motherfuckers are all the fucking...
That's too bad.
It's not too bad, bro. It fucks me up, bro. It makes me feel ill.
You smoking trannies, but hey.
I don't smoke weed, bro.
Take it orally.
Watch that video or you're smoking every drug there is.
Do you do edibles?
I'm serious, man. That motherfucker's deep, man.
I do fat edibles. It gives me less pain and hypertension.
People who think their government's corrupt should watch that damn video and be enlightened to the actual amount of corruption.
Oh, of course. This is like Prohibition happened
like,
to the gangster.
Like the fact that American industrials supported the war in Hitler, the Hitler regime. They gave him free gas. His trucks had Ford motors in them. His tanks were built by Ford. Ford Motor Company built the trucks that ran over Americans in the war against Hitler. You know what I'm saying? They were selling them guns. American industrialists got rich off that war, and then they started playing fake war nonstop because it makes good money. You ever thought, well, we do it because it's economically smart? War. You should watch that video. That dude gets deep into it. He even tells you exactly why JFK got killed. He went against a mafia who owned the entire government at that time. They were all on the payroll.
He was also going to disband the IRS.
See, that's why. Listen, this is why politicians got greedy and quit taking payments and started running the rackets themselves.
Savage. I wish I laughed about that, bro.
Yeah, JFK, I believe, made a deal with the mob.
Listen, the same reason. No, you can argue otherwise, but people who make deals with the mafia usually don't get shot in the head as long as they follow through. That's some Clinton shit. But this is the reason why there was a certain time when countries started locking up all the mafia men. It's just so the politicians could take over their rackets, their numbers rackets, the casinos, the Teamsters. You own the union, you own the laborers, you own everything in America because somebody in a union job site got to build it. Some union
That's how you get all the contracts for the construction. That's how you do it all. I've got 2 more. The following content has been identified by the YouTube community as inappropriate or offensive to some audiences. No, I understand and I wish to proceed.
It's age. Yeah, it's age. It's just age restricted.
Can I have one of them? Oh yes, mate, because I can just plug it in with a HDMI.
We're not using it, it's just broken at my house. Yes, got HDMI cable and Ethernet on there.
Where?
HDMI.
Oh, bro, get me one. Yeah, get me one then. Get me one of those laptops, because if it only thing that don't work on it is the screen, I can plug it into TV.
I didn't think about that, mate. I always kept this one up to leave it the screen works.
What?
Yeah, Johnny Boy was supposed to get his brother Robert back off the mob, and after he got elected, he didn't, so they whacked him.
Hey, what? Yeah. So, what kind of he took advantage of him. He got elected, and then he turned against him. He talked with him and all that until he got elected, and then he turned against him. But hey, tell me what kind of laptop that is, Crack. I got a bunch of old laptops for from my company, man. I'll probably get you a screen.
Hey, Crack, I posted the picture I just found. I was searching that guy. He's in the middle in that picture, but look what's written in the top right of that picture in the live stream.
I will do now, bro.
Joshua? Yeah, Colibri Bird and Yeshua.
Yeshua.
Yeah. Yeah. And the guy in the middle is Nico Guerra, and the guy in the left is Walter Zenga.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that the bird is a Y.
Yeah, it is a Y.
Or more like the iron.
Well, you know, the bird could be the resemblance to the dove that came down from heaven when he said, "This is my son with whom I'm pleased."
Yeah, but that's a colibri bird there.
I might be getting a new laptop because my cousin's got 3 of these
Hummingbird.
laptops. Good laptops as well. But 2 of them, the screen don't work, and I'm like, I'll just plug that shit into a monitor with a HDMI cable.
You know, the hummingbird is like native to Americas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah,
think it's anywhere else. I think the Japanese have a type, but it's like very rare.
You can just hook up a regular old tower monitor to most laptops, bro.
Yeah, even the ones that don't have HDMI, they still have a line out for CRT monitors or I can't remember what the fuck build
Yeah,
connect is
but
called.
you can get converters for all them HDMI too. You can convert it to RC.
But basically, I'm gonna get a new laptop then, yeah, because I can just plug it in.
You might even be able to completely remove the monitor portion to where it's just a keyboard. Customize it, you know?
Well, you can do that. You just have to take it apart and unplug it from the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Some models, if the ribbon cable's not plugged in and go into a board, so you'll have to like make a dummy circuit for it, then none of the output display won't work. The secondary, because it still needs to activate. And so I think it's just a simple switch to pull it down low instead of have it high open.
Yeah.
If I change the administrator account on a PC, let's say a PC you've got it from somewhere like a school, yeah, so it's restricted so that only kids can go on only certain things, right, yeah. Like, you can't go on sites that are 18 plus. I could just use a VPN, but like, I mean, how do I take off that administrator code? Download like Linux,
Windows.
maybe? Reinstall
Windows. Yeah.
Reinstall Windows. Done.
So you have to delete all the windows and reinstall it. But I don't know.
You could probably even make a recovery drive
I
from
think
the
to
system
be able
itself.
to uninstall Windows, and I think you need the administrator account even.
No, you need access to the BIOS, and if the BIOS is blocked, you need to take it apart, take the battery out of it for the CMOS, or if there's a jumper, jump it, cycle it on, cycle it off, and then jump it back, and all passwords will be clear for BIOS. Then enter BIOS. Starts off with a splash screen that's custom. Hit tab and it'll bring it to the C prompt, and then that's when you hit activate keys, the F1 through F12 keys, like real quick.
Do this another
and it'll
time
pop
together.
up the options.
Yeah, I'll do it now, Brent. Alright. We'll have to do this together at some point. Try and help me unlock one of these laptops, because I've got 3 of these laptops that are like school laptops, so I need to unblock it. Like, they've been given to us, like, it's not like they want them back, they've been given, but like 2 of them have got the screens broken, but I can just hook mine up to a 42-inch monitor. I've got a 22-inch HP monitor as well. I can just hook it up to that, because my laptop's so slow. This laptop's quick, you know, I can do everything on it.
Yeah.
Wait, what about like connectivity of like a headset? Is it a single or is it a dual port connection? It's a single port. It doesn't even need a splitter. That's so ideal.
Well, it depends. Look at it. If it looks like it's just a headphone, then it's just a headphone. But if it looks like a headset, then you can plug in, headsets, because
with a microphone.
Got the 4-band barrel instead of the 3-band.
It's a proper laptop, bro. With like it's a proper laptop. Bro.
Yeah. Like usually, if they have a separate line,
it's got a line with a microphone on it. Yeah, it's got a microphone coming out of it.
So it's got the green and the red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got them both. Basically, it's got the ability for me to plug in a headset without having to have a splitter like on my old laptop that I'm using now. Careful, just need to put that.
Yeah, because I have dongles that go from the twin to the single barrel, from the 2-barrel to the single barrel.
But I was just making sure, because it doesn't have two things on it, whether a headset would work. Just go on in a minute. Try and go on Discord, and if Discord works, I'm not that bothered. As long as I can go on Discord on it.
Well,
then I need to be able to go on YouTube.
One side will look like headphones, and the other side will look like a speaker. It'll have the emblem.
I know that. But I'm saying on this laptop, it's got one pin hole. That's it, right? And it's got a headset with the microphone that comes down from the headset. So it's both pins in one.
Yeah. It's modern.
It's singular. It's modern, yeah. It's a modern laptop. It's brand new.
like the one on your mobile. Yeah, so you could just plug your
Yeah.
your earbuds in.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying is it needs to administrate a code in order for us to like get onto websites that are like bad or whatever. But I could just use it. I could just get a VPN.
They probably, since it's a school, they probably disabled USB key, which can be unlocked in the BIOS. But without that USB key unlocked, you can't even download. You can't even have the little daemon program that'll pop the admin code
in your browser.
Well, it's not in your browser. It's when you're starting it up. It boots this device and it pops the passwords, and then it reboots it.
Go on yours. Your username. Yeah, and then you know your password. It's like that password is Lula or whatever.
Or just call the school and find out what the administrator password is, so you can unlock the notebook.
Can't we just call the school?
They forgot we've got it, mate.
They forgot. We've got them. Okay. These are my godchildren's laptops. That's why.
Yeah, I would say
they forgot them.
School or ring up the school.
No, because then they'll ask for them back. Yeah, it's like that. It's just one of the things. We've got 3 of them.
Well, if
I just think
if your godchildren are up for the op, they can go in there with certain code with a macro, open up the system. As long as they don't mess with the grades and they erase
I want
traces.
Linux anyway. I was thinking about removing.
Yeah, do that. That's what I'm saying. Install a different operating system or update the system.
What if to install a new operating system? It's
no, you just
Windows that are on it.
You don't need to install anything because you do it from.
I could just take out the fucking hard drive, couldn't I?
Well, you do it from Python.
And put my hard drive in.
Listen, you do it from Python. If there's a password on the BIOS, you switch the BIOS, the CMOS chip, or you remove the battery from the laptop, start it up again. Not the main battery, but the little button cell battery. And if the button cell battery is soldered in, then there'll be a jumper pin, right? And then you cycle it on and off, and then you switch it back. You cycle it on, let Windows load, and then turn it off again. And then put the battery back in or reset the pin. And then put the computer all the way back.
Okay, I'm not going to be able to memorize all this.
BIOS, because what that does is it clears BIOS. It clears all passwords.
Right, that makes sense. I'm not going to memorize that. Can I get a laptop, yeah? Will you do it with me? I'll have 2 of them to do it with. So will you be willing to help me do it on camera?
Yeah.
We'll both go on camera.
Yeah.
On camera.
Just let me know when you're getting ready to do that.
When I've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do it privately.
Yeah, but you put those fucking emojis in your way there. You put those stupid emojis in your name, bro. No, you didn't. You changed it for Halloween, bro. No, listen. You changed it for Halloween.
Oh, I put them on top of them.
Yeah. So don't tell me I changed shit.
Yeah, but it was originally. Yes. Changed it.
Well, it's that now. Look.
What is it?
That. There.
Pumpkin, Rambo, pumpkin.
Line, pumpkin, line, Rambo, line, pumpkin. Why would you put pumpkins in it? It's so fucking gay. Just put in line, Rambo, line, and then put the hashtag 6623, and then do your password. Hashtag.
You know, pound sign.
You're gonna have to find
the quid.
The hashtag.
Not on there, mate.
Yeah, it is, mate. Right.
Oh, there it is, do I? Numbers?
Not there.
You know what's crazy about that hashtag? Like, here in the States, we call it pound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just bad for you, right?
But
we used to call it that before it was used as a hashtag, you know. We used to call it the pound sign too.
Yeah, but it's a tic-tac-toe sign. It's not a quid. That's what I was like, huh? But I guess the keyboards over there are different.
They're a little bit different.
Like the vector, right?
What do you mean? So how can a username not contain a hashtag? The usernames are based of hashtags. How can a username not contain a hashtag when... Wait there, mate. I really don't know what to do then, Brandon. I don't know how to help you with that. All I know is the Discord works on it already, so... What, to download it? Yeah, just use the app on the thing. Log in with the QR code. Let me just log into mine quickly. Right. No, but I mean, I might as well just do it. You'll have to use this headset anyway. It should work because it's for 14 and above. Yeah, there you go. Email wrong.
You must have to go on my email.
Fucking hell. I can't get on my emails at all on that phone. I have to, like, it's so annoying. You might have to update the whole fucking thing. Log in. There you go. Got it. I'll join the live stream in a second and we'll see if it works. Right, I'll unplug the headset. So let me plug the headset.
Hey, real quick question. Do you know how you would raise your privilege level from inside the command prompt for running executables inside the command prompt of Linux, the terminal? Crack. Anyways, you type in sudo space su, hit enter, and then a prompt's going to come up wanting you to type in the administrator password. The administrator password is the password that you set up with your account when you installed Linux. If you didn't set it, then it's default nothing or admin. Sometimes root.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Jenny.
Are you guys all taking a nap? Or are you going to be...
Oh no.
I
You're robot.
Oh no.
I'm already got from Mr. Robot.
Is it just me, or did that robot sound like Jenny?
It still does. It's Miss Roboto.
Like check.
Check, check. I hear you.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Cash that check.
Where are all the damn Clovers at? It's quiet.
I don't know.
It's to calm before the storm.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the same thing. Damn it, you got beaten.
The spiral is imminent.
We're in the eye of it.
They always come in crowds, so it'll be a troll train here anytime.
Well, I am expecting quite a bit of trolls coming in because I did join a bunch of Facebook groups and shared this stream. Last night I had a reach of like 842 people, something like that. So the thing is the message is getting out there and the link is getting out there. So hopefully we get some people coming in.
Awesome.
And that was just like a 2-hour segment at the limit right now that my page can stream. It's the only thing I can keep analytics on for Facebook.
They come in waves, man. They're like the Chinese in the Korean War. They just come running with their sticks. They don't even have guns and just throw themselves against the barbed wire.
So I can climbeth over thee.
Oh, it's not coming up. Well, I'm green there, but it's not coming up. Wait there. Maybe it's because I'm. in here.
I haven't been muted or anything like that.
Oh, you're there, right there.
I can hear you.
You hear me? Oh, okay. So it works on the server profile. Like, I can come on Discord on this laptop, even if I don't do anything, at least. Just, I can't download the app.
And it's working quite quick, isn't it, as well?
It's quick as well, yeah, it is quick. But wait there, where was it on live stream voice text? Like, let's see if I try and watch the video that Batmob posted, which it won't let you watch. No way. It lets you go on YouTube and watch any video on YouTube?
Yeah.
Any video.
Oh, no, you can't watch certain...
18 plus stuff.
No, there's a lot of 18 plus stuff you can watch, but there's certain music videos I can't seem to watch, but some ones I can with swearing all sorts in, so it just depends, really.
Let's see if this video here you should definitely not be able to watch.
Well, see, I have my channel set.
This video age restricted.
I have my channel set to non-age restriction, but not meant for children.
This is different. Like, it's because it's been given by a school.
Yeah, it's video making.
Play
anyway. I understand.
Your discretion is advised. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's working. So basically, I can use it the way it is anyway for what I need it for, bro.
Yeah, the other ones.
So bring me one of these down so I can fucking Discord my way this way, bro. This is
see if you can install Cody.
How do I sound as well,
Joshua? Cody on it. Pretty good. Really good. No crackling, nothing. Crystal clear.
Oh, dope.
Oh!
How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat?
Never crashed me ever. Never crashed me before ever.
I love that.
Everything works pretty much.
I can even hear
Amazon Prime stream perfect.
No, everything works on there.
It never
doesn't stop me from watching anything.
Not on Amazon or Netflix, no, anything.
But see if you can download Kodi on that device. If you can download Kodi, then you should be able to get a repo for it. Even if
Joshua, everything I need it for, watching stuff on YouTube, which is 18 plus, seems to work. I can't download any apps like the Discord app, but I can just use the browser version, which I'm using now, which is
well, no, that's what I mean. You sideload it through your phone, so you would go ahead and download the exe for Kodi.
Yeah, I've already downloaded the exe, but then once the exe is downloaded, and you go to open it, it blocks it.
Well, I'm just saying, Kodi is it's Xbox media source, right? But what this thing is it's a repo, so you can watch like all kinds of movies, television shows from around the world, Netflix, all of that stuff.
Oh, this is
movies and theaters. That's what I use. But you can't get links from it to share, so I have to use another source to find those resources, but they're never the same quality.
This is kind of
like you can take an Amazon Fire Stick,
yeah,
because it's USB, HDMI type thing, and you can ADB sideload onto it apps. So basically, you pop it open, root it, and then remove the cord and reinstall, a base system with Kodi on it, and you basically make it a hacked device to where the first thing that starts is the VPN.
What I was going to say is when I do get this laptop brought down, will you help me try and uninstall everything though, so we can try and get it to be just a normal Windows 10 or a Linux or something instead, and then I want to get rid of this administrator control on it if I can. If I can't, then I can use it the way it is currently. Just
if you can get access to the USB, the best thing to do to see if USB drivers will install automatically, take your mobile phone and plug the USB cord into it, and then plug that into the USB port of that computer, and see if a prompt pops up installing drivers.
We'll do it when I've got it, alright?
Because if it'll do that, then you're golden. If it won't, then there's Fortress on it, and Fortress is a motherfucker.
I think that's what it is on it, to be honest. It's something like Fortress, because this is British government technology that I'm talking about right now.
Well, it's the same thing. That didn't stop me when I hacked the school. They had Fortress on.
just like the schools, they have the administrator control over the whole laptop, so it stops you from uninstalling or installing any apps or any add-ons or drivers or anything like that. It's like set up the way it is. It's got everything on it. It's already got Linux on it, I just realized as well.
Yeah, and it can block the networking. It can block certain ports. So even if you do connect to sites, these certain sites use certain ports for showing videos. It will block that port. Yeah.
If I remove the hard drive from it, though, it's fucked, right? Surely, because it will be on the hard drive. This control, right? Like,
no, the control's just software control, but it's
but
preloaded, so it starts up before Windows. It runs in Python library.
Right, but what I'm saying is where's that stored to? Like the control from the administrator is going to be stored on the hard drive, correct? So I can remove the hard drive and put a different hard drive in.
You reinitialize the hard drive with a new image. That's it. An image without it.
Okay. If not,
that's what I'm saying.
If that fails, though, I could just put a new hard drive in there. That's all I'm asking, bro. If that failed, I could put a bigger hard. I would need a bigger hard drive in it anyway because it's got a small hard drive, right? Okay.
Well, you need a USB drive about 8 GB because the Windows installation files takes up about 4.7 gigs.
Yeah, no, I know that. I've got all of that, right? I've got 16 gig.
And you get the AIO. You get the AIO OEM installation one.
I know, but I'm asking one specific question. I'm asking one specific question that I want to know the answer to. I understand all of that. Saying if everything was to fail on it, right, and there's no way of getting around this administrator control that they've got, right, that administrator control has to be installed on the hard drive, correct?
No. It can be installed in the BIOS memory. So I said the first thing is wipe the BIOS. Wipe the BIOS and reconfigure it. Because the first thing that'll happen is log you into the BIOS and you make sure you unlock legacy devices.
I'm just thinking about how I can remove
and what that does.
Like basically factory reset the whole thing and then reinstall Windows afterwards on the new hard drive.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you to do. So listen, after you do that and you set it to legacy, it's going to nerf the installation. So whatever program would be written to run in Python prior to the WinExe command is nerfed. Then you can go in there and wipe it. And then before you wipe it, right?
Yeah.
You just initialize and then you stop the installation. Though it's going to be a critical error, cyclical critical error, right? You start it up again, go back into BIOS, you disable legacy mode.
Right.
Make sure that USB is set to open and have the option for F8 to open the boot options. Then as soon as it starts up, hit F8, stick your USB key in, hit boot from USB CD drive, and hit enter, and it'll read.
It doesn't have a CD drive on it at all. It doesn't have a CD.
Yeah, neither does mine. Neither does mine, so that means it should have USB-C connection port.
Yeah. Alright, well, as it is, really, I can use it for nearly everything I want, which is just like YouTube, Netflix, everything like that.
It should have Bluetooth on board, too. Built-in Bluetooth.
Bluetooth, yeah. Bluetooth works.
So you can use your phone as a display.
Yeah, I could use my phone as a display, but like I could.
You can also display your phone on the computer through an ADB program. It's called Screen Copy. S-Copy.
I'm just gonna use a HDMI wire, dude. It's got a HDMI cable.
Fully master resetting it and wiping off every single account on there.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, just rebooting it.
Administration user as well. If you can figure out
no, we're just gonna smash the castle.
We're just so quiet.
Who, me?
No.
Me. I don't know. Am I quiet? Am I? I haven't looked at any of my settings. Let me look.
Oh, maybe.
No, you're pretty loud.
I don't know. It just sounded like you were far away.
Turn me up. Output volume. Input volume.
I already have it all the way up.
Output volume. Right. There you go. What about now?
You're good. You sound great now. Maybe you were in space away.
Onto your set, if you go down here, go to my settings.
I know.
Just go ahead and give me a hard time about it.
What about now?
Yeah, is it still good?
Literally, it's got so many controls on it that it's insane. Like I can't change hardly anything on this. Speech, UX configuration, recorder, voice recorder. If I try and turn voice recorder on, it works. Alright. Mixed reality portal, HP Smart desktop app web viewer off.
Great,
Why?
when something's great, you can't change it. If it's coloured like that, you can change it.
Right. But yeah, Bran, this is what it is. It works. So for what I need it for now, it works.
Discord will work really fast. It won't fuck up. It won't glitch or anything like that, which is good. That's what you want it really for, really, isn't it?
Kind of, yeah. I want it more for that. And I
I'll
want to
tell
be
you
able.
what,
Well, I want to be able
what
to
kind of
stream.
Always use Chrome. That one.
find out what kind of administrative command is on that thing, and see if it's poppable. Usually, it's not because it's hard baked into the registry. So you have to clear the registry. The only way to do that is to do, like I said, and nerf it, NOP it by switching on legacy devices. Means it corrupt the previous Windows and it will not install from it.
I'll be honest, I don't know how to do any of that at the moment. So
Corrupted code cannot be called on. It's a very simple way to NOP the operating system.
We do all of that when it happens, bro. When I get it. I'm saying I'm not that much of a nerd when it comes to computers because I haven't used a computer like this for so long. I used to be a nerd when it came to all this shit, but everything's changed. But at the minute, as it is, even if I get one, I can use it for what I want to use it for, which is what Discord. I can watch any video on YouTube that I need to watch. I can go on Netflix. I can go on Amazon. I can Amazon Prime. I can go on to much everything that I need to go on to. Skype, I think, as well, will work on it.
You're just being lazy.
No, I want to do that. That's what I'm saying, but I don't have the computer yet to do it with. This one ain't mine to mess around with. This is just one of the other ones. We've got 3 of them. I can't do any of what you're talking about on this computer.
Yeah, but I'm saying once you get one of them running right, create a system image, an ISO system image, and then you can just use that on the other ones to clone the system.
Step by step how to do that. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I can't, like you can tell me that, like I'm not gonna feign intellect. Like, oh yeah, cool, dude. I know how to do that.
Basically, the Windows installation works off of a system image, a base system image, a base build. So you update the system on that. If all the systems are identical, then you can create one master system image, your own custom one, copy it, and then send it through to the others. So that when you install it, it installs a custom image. It's a program. That's it. So
okay.
It means you won't have to sit there and install drivers on the other 2.
I'll be right back, alright? Thanks, dude.
Alright. Any flat earthers want to talk about like the blatant truth about it? Water is level. 71% water, they say. It's a 71% level plane that does not work on a ball. It's simple math, guys.
Simple math.
Even if you say like, say 70%, that's still 30% land. some overall majority, it's flat. And then they'll argue, well, what about the terrain under? Well, the terrain under is pretty much flat. I mean, the abyssal plain. The landmass with the highest elevation is, in fact, Antarctica. And we live in a place called the Antarctic Basin. That's every human. Fun facts.
What do you think the shape of the Earth is?
I don't think there's a shape to dry land. Right? The Earth is just the land. The portions that stick up out of the water. So, flat is a surface feature. It doesn't necessarily denote a shape. Kind of like smooth or rough. Like I can sit here and rake out a bunch of gravel, and I know that's level and flat. But when you get down to it and look at it, you'll notice that it's just, a field of boulders stacked on top of each other. It all depends on your perspective. And I see a lot of these flat earthers sitting here trying to explain a model, saying this is what it looks like from space. Well, that's logical fallacy right there. And I call them out in these groups and on their posts. It's like nobody's been to space, so how can you sit there and claim what it looks like from space? You don't know. You're going off of an azimuthal equidistant map based off of globe projection.
I know what we can talk about.
What's that?
The difference in the nature of the globe Earth claim versus the flat Earth claim, and what we use for evidence versus what they use for evidence.
Well, they can sit there and claim that we use photos for evidence, but the thing is you can actually go out and test the photo in real life. Right? You can test the film in real life.
Exactly what I was talking about.
But their evidence, we can't really go there.
I understand. Yeah, of course, and I'll tell. Listen, no, I admit, photos, they're subjective. They really are, because it's just like a visual impression. Unless the photo has unless the camera that's taking the photo is calibrated to accurately represent the world. Right? So you design the camera so that it preserves angles and things like that. So if I take a picture of something and it's sometimes a physical angle of say 1 degree out there in the world, that in the camera that angle is accurately represented in proportion to all the other angles, right? So it's geometrically correct, right? Geometrically accurate. And we know all cameras are not 100% geometrically accurate. It's just impossible at this point in time. It'll be possible at some point.
How would we be able to design optics like that, or perhaps not even an optic, but a sensor, right? A sensor that has no distortion without a need of an optic.
You have to have a planar lens.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah. Has to be a planar lens.
The material we use is refractive unless we could actually do away with refraction altogether.
Actually, there is a lens that does it. It's called a confocal lens. Now I think about it.
Well, they can
confocal lens. They use it in industry to manufacture parts and to measure parts to tolerances. But it has to be at the exact correct location, and the sensor has to pretty much be the same size as what it is you're taking a picture of. So if you're taking a picture of a 1 inch by 1 inch cube, your sensor needs to be, at least that size, because you need that straight lines, right? You need to because you need like a straight line. You need straight lines to go to each pixel of the sensor. Because if it's think about it like this, if it's up at an angle, this is a stupid thing. Like with Cobras, it's the same thing like perspective. You know what I mean? If I'm looking at a tile and I'm right overhead, it's a square. But once I start looking at it from some off angle, it's not square anymore, and it kind of turns into like a trapezoid, right? So a camera is the same way. If you have the sensor taking a picture of something on the optical axis, right, the dead center of the camera, it's correct. But as you get to the edges, it becomes not correct because it's coming in an angle. So that same tilt that you observe from looking at a square from an angle, right? That tilt is being, instead of you looking at an angle at a square, the square itself is tilting relative to what you're taking a picture of. That square being the sensor itself.
Yeah. See, I know, like there's a difference in refractive index, but there is a liquid that has the same refractive index as a certain crystal, and if they make the lenses out of that crystal, I think it's sapphire, and flood the whole thing, like submerge it in this oil. I think it's wintergreen oil or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard of this. Yeah,
that's just how they do like the lithography for like the extremely small like circuit boards for our phones. They have to use that because the traces are so small and intricate in places that without using that, there's going to be too much of a fuzz and refraction, and there's going to be electron leakage, and the circuit board's going to fail. Yeah, or the chip, right?
Yeah, it's getting as close to the diffraction limit without distortion. That's really what they're doing.
So if they could do that like that, then how would we be able to create a lens that has the same refractive index as air? You know what I mean? Create a medium, a crystal that has the same.
Well, they're working on it. It's called what do they call it? It's called a metasurface. That's what it's called. A metasurface lens. But they haven't it hasn't been engineered yet. No. It's a metamaterial. It's a metamaterial. It's basically the same concept as making a metamaterial. So the way a metamaterial works is you have, let's call them features, right? So you have features which are sub-wavelength. So that's the problem of designing it, right? So light is 400 nanometer to 800 nanometer. So you need to have like 16 at least. So it's like 16 little capacitors sandwiched in one wavelength, evenly spaced. 16 is like the least amount you can get away with. But it's even better if you have more. But good luck getting I think you need to make quantum dots, right? because it's called super focusing. Just
Yeah.
look it up. Look up metamaterials, right? So just look up metamaterials or anything like that. You'll get things like invisibility cloaks and a bunch of hooey shit like that. But really, that's not. That's kind of like the press novelty shit that because the press thinks things like that are cool. But that's you can make lenses that beat the diffraction limit.
I think it's the Polish government, or the Polish military. They have a Polish tank out there that has active camouflage from infrared and X-ray.
That's absorbing, right?
Metamaterial. It's metamaterial.
Then they must be. What are they doing? It basically.
But the problem is, mud will foul it, like dust.
Oh, of course. Think about it like
so all you would need to do is just pop smokes, and they'd come up on the imaging. It'd be a hollow. You saw, there it is.
Well, see, light has electromagnetic energy. So one wavelength is an oscillation between an electric field and a magnetic field. So what you do is you make one wavelength. So you have one wave crest and another wave crest. So it moves across the medium, right? So in that little space of that oscillation, that magnetic and electric oscillation, if you have, like I said, little capacitors in there, right? So they couple to the electromagnetic wave, but they have to be sub-wavelengths. There has to be enough of them between the crests of the wave that it actually couples to the wave and interacts with it, so that you get something called you get what is a negative index of refraction. Yeah, that's right, negative. So when you do this, you actually get two focal points. Yeah, they call it left-handed metamaterial because instead of the right-hand rule, the left-hand rule applies. They didn't think this stuff was capable of even being made, but someone dug up a paper that this guy named Victor Veselago wrote back in the 60s in the Soviet Union. It got translated, and then some Westerners got a hold of it, and a guy named Pendry made it real, but in the microwave frequency, in the microwave wavelengths. So microwave is like, it's easy to make that because that's like, 1 meter waves, right? That's 1 meter wavelength. So it's pretty easy to make, So what they did, they used what they call split ring capacitors. So it's basically, think of the letter C. Think of it. You have a PCB circuit board, and there's in that circuit board, the traces are they're copper traces, right? Formed in each trace is like a C pattern. They're not connected to each other. They're alone, right? So one of these little split ring capacitors is not connected to another one. So it's like a C inside of a C. So one C is backwards to the other one, but they're embedded in each other. And you put 16 of these in between each wavelength. So when you send microwave across this, like I said, it has a negative index of refraction. And it actually, the phase of the wave is actually superluminal. And they can even get the phase of the phase velocity to go backwards. But it has not been perfected or even developed for optical frequencies because there's a bunch of problems that make it difficult. And one of the problems also is parasitic losses, because you get inductive coupling of these little split ring resonators, so you get losses in power. So the metamaterial absorbs stuff. Anyway, part of this development of metamaterials, they're making something called metasurfaces, right? So think of a sensor, and like when light hits the sensor, it shapes the wave and it shapes the wavefront in such a way as to get what is called sub-wavelength information out of it. It's almost like a hologram. I don't know. I'm not sure if you know how a hologram works. They make holograms. Holograms are made out of the holograms are made out of interference patterns.
Like laser refracting off of a prism or something, right?
No. What you do is you illuminate an object with a laser from one angle, and you illuminate it, and then you take a picture from another angle, and the interference pattern of the light that's already there and the wave, that wave interference pattern is 3-dimensional. So you expose they think they expose like an aluminum film, right? And then they can recreate that 3-dimensional interference pattern on the film, and then we see holograms. But it's because it's because the light that's being captured is actually 3D in a sense. So you get depth. Anyway, there's more information in that obviously, right? So there's more information in that 2 to 3-dimensional image than there is in a 2-dimensional image. So these metasurfaces, they can actually retrieve some of the 3-dimensional information that you can't regularly pick up with a camera, right? And because of this, they can make an undistorted image. I mean, you guys can Google all this, dude. I mean, seriously, like it's something I looked into for years, dude, years. This is why I know so much about refraction, because I studied this for a long time. Yeah. And I was still studying this when I saw the Chicago skyline, and this is a mirage. So then I got distracted. So I knew at the time just about everything there is to know about mainstream science's models of refraction, all of them, right? So, like, I would say metamaterials is like at the cutting edge of what our knowledge of light and how it refracts and how it changes. So when I saw the Chicago skyline, I knew that wasn't a mirage, and I'm like, holy shit, there's something wrong here. And yeah, so now I'm flat earther. Because that's not a mirage. Yeah, so just it's like not a mirror, man. It's like one of those coincidences of serendipity.
Yeah. Well, it's not a mirror. A mirror inverts the image. It was not inverted. I mean, that's.
Oh, exactly. It doesn't have any feature, any characteristic of a mirage. Not a single one. I mean, back in the day, like in the beginning, like in 2017, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's a mirage." I'd be like, "Okay, put that image in paint, right, and draw an arrow right to the part that you see that indicates it's a mirage." I've never gotten anything. I've never gotten any Glober to like draw me a picture that like, yeah, okay, this part of the image says this is a mirage because I see this or I see that. No. They're just like, Earth's a globe, it has to be a mirage because Earth's a globe.
Earth glob, it must be, because Earth glob.
But it has to be. Really, that's really, that is the entire basis of the refraction argument. It's Earth's a globe, so it has to be. Because that's the only possible way. Because we know Earth's a globe. So it has to be refraction. Because that's the only way. Even though there's no indications of refraction, it's the only thing that makes it plausible. So we'll just say the only thing that makes it plausible.
Yeah.
Come to find out, it's not plausible. It really isn't.
But it's has to be.
Oh, I'm so glad I got that feature working.
So, and that goes to the nature of the globe claim, which is kind of what I wanted to talk about. So, their claim, so when they come into the server, they're right. Science proves it. Science proved the Earth's a globe. What does that even mean? What are they really saying? Oh, I know what they're saying. Science proved gravity. And because gravity forms balls, Earth's a globe, and that's what science proved. So I was listening to yeah, really, this really is their argument. Even though they don't know they're making that argument, that's their argument. Because, and the reason they don't know they're making the argument is because they're parrots. But if they really thought about it, like, what argument am I making? I'm making a geometric claim, right? I'm making a claim of geometry. I say this is this shape. That is a claim of geometry. But instead of like what a normal person would say, right? If I said this table is square, well, how do you know it's a square? I took a tape measure and I measured it, and it was 48 inches on this side and 48 inches on the other side. There's 48 inches on all the sides, and that's a square. No. Instead, a Goldberg makes an argument like this. Oh, I know the carpenter that built the table, and he told me it's a square. Or he has a saw that can only make squares, so the table's a square.
Or they'll ask, how come you use a triangle to find out if something's square? It's like, really, guys? You know nothing about 3, 6, 9? Or, 3, 4, 5? Yes, the 3, 4, 5. 3 inches by 4 inches by 5 inches. That's a square. That's like you say you're building something and you want to rack it. You know, it's.
Oh yeah, 3, 4, 5 Pythagorean theorem. Yeah.
Yeah. It's easy.
It's actually what they call a diaphanes trip. It's called a triple, Pythagorean triple.
Yeah, they don't understand their own like logic and science and mathematics behind their own claim, right? Like Eratosthenes' claim. They think Eratosthenes claimed that it was a ball. He never said no such thing. He thought it was a rectangle, and so did Mariner of Tyre. It was actually Claudius that made a map based off of everything, and he said that it was a correction of the Eratosthenes and Tyre map that everybody was using that was based off rhumb lines, right? And the thing is Ptolemy corrected it. Well, Claudius of Ptolemy, he corrected it, and the projection was round. He said he corrected the projection and made it round, right? Where lands were contracting towards the poles and expanding towards the equator, which gives the distortion, right? And if we're still using that projection to draw up a flat Earth map, then it is going to be distorted. We actually have to do cartography. That's measure every landmass straight on rhumb lines, chart it out. Even vast distances in the ocean. It's the only way. And like the Alberuni, all that was him just looking down on a sand dune and then rising up above the sand dune and noticing he could see more stars as he rose above the dunes. That's nothing. That proves nothing. So really, they have no proof.
Told you that. Plus, they didn't know anything about perspective anyway, so like.
True.
They didn't know anything about projective geometry or anything like that. Perspective wasn't even a thing. It wasn't invented for another 1,000 years.
Like, take for instance, right now, I can see the moon in the sky. It's about quarter moon, half full. I can see it in the east, well, northeast. And yet the sun at this time is more on this side. So it kind of equates, but the moon will still be in the same phase as the sun sets. And the moon will only move about maybe to about 90 degrees in the sky, where it so-called rises at sunset, but it doesn't rise because it's always visible in the sky. It's all perspective. And it's not the sun that's causing the light of the moon. Especially sunset, and it's still the same thing. Well, right now it's above the Earth, where it makes sense for it to be a reflection of the light. You know, it's like, anyway. Somebody actually said, well, the eclipses make no sense on a flat Earth. So actually, yeah, they do. They make perfect sense on a flat Earth. Did you know you see other heavenly bodies near totality?
So I was listening to like Wolfgang and somebody from the other 2 days ago. Wolfgang's talking to him, and he's like, "Well, what makes you think the Earth's a globe?" And he like lists seasons, blah 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 blah. Okay, all this stuff, eclipses. I'm thinking, not a single one of those things about the shape of the Earth, right? And they're all just stories. And if he grew up,
right,
and if everybody assumed that the Earth was flat, we'd have some story about everything, right? We'd just come up with some other concoction. No matter what the shape of the Earth was, if you start with a presupposition and then you try to explain the world within that framework, and you can't actually do the experiment to get the true causes, you're just creating a narrative. And the only reason he believes the narrative is because repetition, he's been told it over and over again. Because, I'll give you, for instance, the seasons. What causes the seasons? First of all, which seasons? Meteorological seasons? Astronomical seasons? Okay, astronomical seasons. What causes them? Astronomical seasons are just the position of the sun, right? In the day, in the length of day. That's the astronomical season. What causes that? Oh, orbits. Anybody ever seen an orbit? No. Okay.
The position of the sun, right? The summertime, the sun is in the Tropic of Cancer, right? Or is it Capricorn? I forget, right? Yeah. It's in the northern tropics, where all the deserts are. And then you have the southern tropics, which has a lot of deserts as well. It's funny, the tropical environment is full of deserts, but yet the equator is very tropical. I think we have
the point is, nobody knows the cause of the seasons. Nobody.
Mm-hmm. That's that 12 degrees, right? 12 degrees arc in the sky. From solstice.
23 degree tilt or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is falsified by other information, but other points of data. Like, I mean, each one of these things, like they say, oh, this is the cause of that, right? It has something to do with the globe. But that claim is falsified by some other piece of data. And you can,
what about?
You can go through all claims, where they claim the causes of this and causes of that. Orbits cause this, tilt causes that, rotation causes this. And you can go through all of them. And there is some data point that falsifies that claim, which proves they just have a story.
Well,
we have a lot of stories. So because I have a lot of stories, it must be true.
Right. We got all these books.
Tolkien, he can outdo all that, man. He has even more stories. The Middle Earth is true.
So I get back to the seasons, right? We have solar seasons, right? We have a solar minimum and a solar maximum. Those are different seasons of the sun. We have astronomical seasons, so to say. You know, the the zodiacal season, so to say. Like, we're about to go, or we have entered into the age of the Aquarius. This is what has happened. This is why they say now is the time to do their thing. But we're in the age of Aquarius. We were in the age of Pisces, right? Previous to the age of Pisces was the age of Aries. And prior to that was the age of Taurus. You know, so it goes backwards from the way that the zodiac moves in the sky. So it's strange. And that's those seasons, I believe, are what the great ages are. The age of iron, the age of gold, you know, the golden age, the silver age, the bronze age, iron age, because we're in the iron age and it's about to end to be in a broken iron age for 300 years. It's the end of the Kali Yuga. But that doesn't happen until 2025. So they have to make their kingdom, or it's doomed to fail.
So when that day comes around, does that mean I can get $5 a piece for my cans when I return them?
I don't know. I think that's 2025 is when the agenda or whatever, where everything's supposed to be switched over to the new system, monetary system.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings must have been a true story because it was such a long book.
There was so many other chapters to it, plus the Silmarillion.
Wait, there's no place called Middle Earth?
I guess in a certain sense there might be.
Maybe that would be the North, or perhaps a land beyond Antarctica. Don't know. I'm guessing it's just the land.
You fake all that paperwork.
Well, see, how that story started, how the Lord of the Rings started, was Tolkien telling his children bedtime stories and decided to start writing them down.
Well, I mean, there's whole languages, man. Like, you can't possibly create whole languages. I mean, who could fake all that paperwork? No way. Has to be real.
He's got the elven language, and they went to the stars on ships, and we're going to do the same. I think that's an allegory for the fallen angels or whatever, the Nephilim. The Anunnaki. Elites. Elves. Right? What do the elves have in common with?
Star Trek should be real too, right?
Well, I mean, the Vulcans could be the elves. Think about it. They all have long ears and big noses, just like all the central banksters.
And their own language.
Yeah.
But wait, how can both of those stories be true at the same time? How can there be a Middle Earth on a flat Earth and Star Trek is real and the vacuum of space is real too and we're on a ball at the same time?
Because it's all in their minds, allegories. They're rewriting mythology. The whole thing is the CIA figured the best thing we need, or the one thing we need to do to create a deception plan so that everybody believes falsehoods and they will follow what we say regardless of the source. They will think the source comes from within. And the best way to do that is we need to create a modern mythology. And that's what they're doing. The globe, space, all that shit. Mars travel. Oh, we went to the moon. And then here comes all the other ones, like, you know, what's going on now with critical race bullshit theory. Excuse me, it's not bullshit, because bullshit is actually tangible. You can have bullshit.